Hello everyone and welcome back to my story. So I've taken a couple months off. I took the 40 days of self-love off and then I took another about 30 days off. I'm going to be honest. I didn't want to complete this series and I can't complete it the way that I've been doing it. Whenever I first started this series of my story, I thought that I was going to sit down and just talk until I couldn't no more and get it all out within a month and just have like a couple videos telling my story. And I learned that YouTube would only let me post 15 minutes at a time at the beginning. Now I can post as long as I want. But back then I could only post 15 minutes at a time, so I decided to do my story 15-minute increments. And I really think that worked for a while, and it was really healing for me, and I didn't expect that part. But the thing is, I've got so many creative projects that I want to get to. I don't want to be working on my story anymore, and I just want it to be over with and done. And so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to talk 30 minutes at a time. I'm going to start releasing them every Monday and Friday, 30 minutes at a time now. So if you're watching this later, if you're like way in the future watching this, then, which I hope that you are, that is my intent. My thing is, I don't want to try to get subscribers until my story's told. I feel like I teach and I preach, and I like to practice what I teach and I preach, and I teach and I preach to start with yourself. So I'm practicing what I teach and preach, and whenever I get to the point where I'm really helping others like all the time, and they're like, you don't start with yourself, I'm going to be like, no, I did. I spent years on myself. I spent years. There's good 10 years of me working on myself before I even came onto YouTube. But then if you go back and look at the beginning of my YouTubes, you will see I focused on myself. It was all about me at the beginning. And not to get into the ego stuff. We'll get into that. I've got a book I'm writing on the ego, so we'll get into that. But anyway, yes, so I don't want to try to get subscribers while I'm telling my story, because my story, I want it to be a thing that my subscribers go back and look at. That whenever I'm actually big enough to actually reach people and be making a difference in this world, helping heal this world, I don't want people to look back at my dirty past and bring it up. Because that's whenever people will start telling your story of everything that was wrong with you. Whenever you're actually beginning to make a difference in the world, they'll bring up your dirty past. So I don't want other people to be in charge of that. I'm going to be the one in charge of that as much as I can. Of course, they're going to do it anyway, but there will be from back in the day, which is now for me, a recorded session of me telling my version of my story. Okay? So, and yes, where I'm at in my story, I become the bad guy. I make a lot of bad decisions. I make a lot of really, really, really bad decisions where I'm at in my story. But I don't want to try to get subscribers until I've already told my story, because my subscribers should be gotten because I'm teaching the science of spirituality, how spirituality is reality, and I'm bringing it into reality for people. And, we have Intuitive Tuesdays, we'll have Telepathic Thursdays, we'll have a teaching series on Saturdays, we'll have Mystic Mondays. That's whenever my subscribers, whenever it's about them, that's whenever I want my subscribers to come in. And I'm not even going to be talking about my story no more, because my story should have been told. It should have already been told and recorded, and it's in its own little playlist. So if I get subscribers while I'm telling my story, then first of all, these subscribers don't even know what they're subscribing to, because the Mystic Hillbilly that I have in my mind that's made for subscribers isn't even born yet. She hasn't even started yet. So you're not even subscribing to Intuitive Tuesday, Mystic Monday. You're not subscribing to all that. You're subscribing to Misty's story. And it's like, yeah, who cares about Misty? Yeah, who cares, right? You shouldn't care. But yeah, I'm opening my closet for everybody, and I'm showing you all my dirty laundry. I got tons of dirty laundry, so that's what I'm doing. And I don't want, as these videos are released, because whenever they're released, then the subscribers see them, and I don't want people to watch this unless it's I have to defend myself because somebody's talking about that time that Missy was crazy and she did this crazy stuff, and you're actually listening to her. She's so crazy. Meanwhile, people are getting healed and it's making a difference in the world. What I really got to say makes a real world difference. You know what I mean? But if you're going to go off the fact that I used to be crazy, well then, Lord help you. I don't know what to tell you. I'll go ahead and tell you the truth. I was crazy. They locked me up in a mental hospital multiple times. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. About to air out all this dirty laundry, okay? So, yeah. I don't want subscribers, whenever they're uploaded, then subscribers see and they want to go to it, and I don't want them to want to watch this. So I want the uploads to be the science and the teaching and the reality and the making. Let's make things real and wonderful. We can make heaven on earth. So anyway, don't let the fact that I have such a horrendous past stop us from making heaven on earth, please. Anyway, yeah, once I have my story told, my goal is to make subscribers. Right now, it's just to be strong, gain that confidence, and to get my story out. So, with my goal being to get the story out, I'm going to move to 30-minute videos, which is harder to upload and harder to get edit and everything, but we'll just get through it, okay? So, from here on out, we'll have 30-minute videos in the playlist. That's how it happened in real time for you guys in the future. Okay, so getting back to my story. Where was I? I was about to go crazy. Basically, I had just, my husband was doing his final tour in Iraq. We knew that whenever he got out, he was going to get a vasectomy, because he really wanted to get a vasectomy, and because he didn't want me to have to deal with birth control and all that stuff, so he wanted to get the vasectomy, and he was going to get out of the Army. It was like back from war, go into surgery, and then you're going to be out of the Army. But if he was going to be released in April, and school started in August, so I needed to be where my kids were going to go to school. I went to so many different schools. I wanted my kids to start a school and finish a school. And I think that I did tell the story of my child had started at one school and then messed up, and because I could have defended her and she probably could have stayed at that school, and they could have all went to that school, which was, I think, a good school, but they ended up going to a good school. But we had to go to a different school, and so that's the school that I made sure all my kids stayed in every time we were looking for a house. But anyway, my husband, his last tour in Iraq was the last time that we were going to be making the big money, and I had to start working too, because I knew that whenever he got home, we weren't going to be making as much money, and we saved up a lot of money, but I spent it all on going to school to be a real estate agent and spending all the money on the licensing fees and everything, and then the final fee was out of my reach, and it defeated me. It really crushed me. And so now here I am. I was supposed to get the job, make the money back, because it's going to be a high paying job, so I'm going to make the money back and be able to get us a house. And no, that's not going to happen. So my husband's no longer, and he's about to be out of Iraq. He's still making the money, but it's just not enough for me to be able to make it up in savings. And I was trying to find a job, and I was working as hard as I could. I don't know. I was trying to find a job and I was failing at that. And I'm really bad at getting a job. Really, really bad. It seems that I can't pass personality tests. Back then, I always had to do a personality test. I don't know. I figured that's what it was. I don't know what it was. I wasn't getting hired though. And I mean, I was trying everything. And so one day, well, basically, my neighbor had two kids that were older. One was a year older than my oldest daughter, and one was 2 years older than her. So they're both older than her. So these two older kids, and they rode the same bus and everything. He needed a babysitter, and I was at home with my two kids all day, so I started watching his kids. And he paid me at first, and then he just stopped paying me. And then there was this one day, I was babysitting the girls. We were all together, and we would have fun. I would always have fun with them. I so enjoyed their childhood so much. Now, if they told you the story of their childhood, they're going to tell you of all the things that I did to traumatize them, some things that I don't even remember. But I remember a lot of the good times, but that's because it's just different that way. That's the way that things play out. I know that I tried my best and I tried my hardest to give them a good childhood and a good life. At this time, we went from, I was making $10,000 a month. I had so much money and everything. Now I had to put back money for lawyers' fees and stuff, and Larry and them kept that money, which I don't blame them because I was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, we now didn't have any money anymore, so it's just a different type of living, and they don't really remember the times that we were abundant. They remember the times when we were in famine. They don't remember the feast, they remember the famine. And that's natural. It's natural. Because, yeah. But one day I was watching the girls and everything. I remember we were playing and somebody knocks on the door and I was like, oh, I can get the door. And I go and I answer the door and I get served with papers for custody of the girls. Because I don't know if y'all remember in previous episodes, I told y'all about Zach and about how we had to get a DNA test for both of my girls, and Zach is their father, which I knew the whole entire time. I'm such a lucky slut. I'm so lucky. And I'm so lucky to have him as their father. Oh, gosh, I wish I was lucky enough to have someone rich or something. Anyone else. But anyway. Anyway, he got visitation rights, and the girls came back saying that he had touched them and done stuff, and we had an investigation, and I had the paperwork that said it's true, that did in fact happen. But at the time, I was still living in a different state, so state that I'm living in now decided that they're not going to pursue it, that it's not a big deal because I was in a different state. And I came back and I told them that I was back, but they said it's too late now. And so he was again taking me to child custody court for custody, and it scared me. So I was like, well, I gotta do something. So I go and get the best lawyer that I knew to get. She was a very good lawyer, and in previous case, she worked for my mom, she worked for my sister's mom. My dad has a lot of daughters and different baby mamas, and this woman did a really good job for our mothers, and really fair and everything. So, and I go and I talk to her, and she's like, I need this much money for a retainer, which was the last of our savings. So I was like, all right, so I gave her that. And, I gave her the It's True paperwork, and I told her about all that, and she's like, okay. And she told me that I need to get her, if that's true, then I need to get her in counseling. So I found out that, I found out one of the best counselors for that issue in our area. I have to edit that out. I started taking my daughter to her, and I let her know, that I'm trying to get my timeline straight here. I remember telling the counselor, though, that this happened. I'm not sure that it happened. I'm wondering if it is true. So yeah, and it was like such a little fancy house. It was such a beautiful fancy house, and my insurance, she did not take our insurance, because the insurance that I had for the kids were just government insurance. So she did not take that insurance. So every session was $400. So it was getting kind of crazy. But after a couple sessions, she did tell me that it is true, that it did actually happen, and that she would be willing to testify in court, but her court cost is $4,000, which at the time it was just unrealistic. Unrealistic, because Dave is pretty much not making the good money no more. He's not making overseas money. We've completely drained all savings with the real estate and now a lawyer. And yeah, and it hurt me so bad, because it's like, how can you put a price on that? Like, this child needs you. You're the one that's needed for this child. And I got so angry and hurt that I ended up, I took her out of that counselor, and I put her into the one that the government would pay for, pretty much government counseling, school counselor, basically. This woman, though, I just thank God for people like her. But we're not there yet. So, but at this time, court's happening, court's coming up, and I should be trying to get a protection order on him. He shouldn't be getting visitation or custody. He put up posters all around my neighborhood that, with pictures of my kid's face, that they're missing. If seen, call his phone number. Which was embarrassing for me, because everybody in the neighborhood knew us and everything. And when court came, people don't agree with this. By the time that court came, my lawyer was not a good lawyer. I didn't expect this, but basically, yes, I did say that it was like, mother alleges that father sexually molests the kids, and like, the judge looked at me like, who are you? How dare you? You're alleging that? You're alleging that he touches the kids? And I'm just like, yeah. And I have no counselor on my side or anything, because I have still had that one counselor who I couldn't afford $4,000 for her to be at court, so she wasn't going to be at court. And my lawyer said, well, we can't even mention her then. We can't mention nothing about that. So I was like, okay, like, surely there's a way to mention, like, surely, like, you're a lawyer, you know how to figure that, oh, whatever. And so I alleged that he touched the kids, and then him and his lawyer got up there and basically tore my character to shreds and said that there's parental alienation, and that mentally unhealthy. Luckily, at this time, I hadn't been in the hospital once, so um, and basically, parental alienation means that I have a mental disorder, that the way that they were talking, I was putting the pieces together as they're talking, and I'm trying to remain cool because I'm realizing that this is my kids. These two girls are going to go live with their child molester. There's no doubt about that. I'm recognizing that the court is about to take my kid. I'm If they take them and give them to someone that's going to love them and care for them and take care of them, more than power to you. If somebody can take better care of them than me, then by all means let it be. But don't give them to someone that's going to abuse them and molest them, please. That's all that I'm thinking. That's all that I'm thinking. And at the same time, they're saying that I have a mental disorder that makes me think that. They're saying I have a mental disorder that makes me think that they're going to be abused in his care. Therefore, I constantly accuse him of being abused, and I keep them away. And I brainwash my kids to believe that they're being abused by him. And that's why it's been so important that I tell you my story up until now the way that I told you it. I swear to God, if you go back and watch some of the previous episodes, I swear to God, that's the way that it happened to me. And I swear to God that this is the way that it happened to me. It was not me telling the kids constantly, he did it. No, I didn't want that to be the truth. Not one day did I want to keep. Sorry about that. I ran out of storage space. So I'm going to try to make this quick because I only made a little bit of space. So yes, I swear I never wanted to keep them from their father. I would like to have them to go and enjoy their family, but not if they're going to be getting hurt. So anyways, I could tell that the court was going this way, that they were about to give him custody. And so they said, do you have anything to say for yourself? And I said, I was not aware of my mental illness. And now that I've been made aware of it, I'm going to seek help. This is not right. And I will not do this. I do not want to be a parental alienator. And I will do everything that I can to heal. And the court said, you know what? Because of that, we're going to do visitation every other weekend. And it was like every other holiday or something like that. Every other weekend, every other holiday. And as long as you're seeking therapy. I got to keep my kids, y'all. There are people that disagree with me and think that I should have stood up for my kids and made sure that there was never going to be another visitation. But I disagree. I know in my heart of hearts that court was about to take custody from me. They were about to give it to him. And there's more to come. This story's not over. But today's session is probably going to be over. You guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being here. Yeah, and I make a lot of mistakes, but that one was not a mistake. I was right in saying that I was wrong in that court and being able to keep my kids even though he got visitation. And yeah, of course they wouldn't celebrate it. It was all over Facebook. It was all over everywhere. Celebrate. God is good. God is good. I'm trying to figure out, God, why? God, why? But maybe, I think, I even begin to believe in myself. Maybe I did teach them that. Maybe I did make them want to tell me that. Maybe I did brainwash them into thinking that. And I did get into therapy. I started seeing a therapist. Government provided therapist, but whatever. So we never talked about that. I mean, we the only time we talked about that, she was just like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm running out of time on my stuff, so I gotta get that situated. I'll figure that stuff out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this episode, and I hope that you are blessed with love. That's all Wait a minute. No, that's not all she got. She got a little bit to say just here at the end, so hold on, folks. I just want to say really, really quick, I've got an exciting opportunity to share with you. As a student and a content creator, I pour my heart and my soul into each and every video, and I absolutely love bringing you all along on my crazy adventures. But you know, creating quality content requires a lot of time, effort, and resources. But that's where you can come in. If you enjoy my videos and want to share your support, I've set up a few ways for you to contribute and become an even more integral part of the Mystic Hillbilly community. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me to continue doing what I love most. First of all, I have a few donation options available to you. If you'd like to make a one-time contribution, you can find the links to my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal in the video descriptions. And every single donation, no matter how big or small, truly makes a difference and allows me to create even more exciting content for you all. But wait, there's more. I'm thrilled to introduce to you my Patreon membership, where for only $5.55 a month, you can gain access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content and outtakes from all my videos. As a Patreon supporter, you'll get to see all the edits and behind-the-scenes bloopers that didn't make it in the final cut. It's like having a VIP pass to the Mystic Hillbilly editing room. This is really something special for all my haters out there. As a member, you'll gain access to hours of footage of me making mistakes, doing everything wrong, and just having an all-around hilarious time. So, haters, if you ever want to see me in my most human, this is your golden opportunity. So, whether you choose to become a member or make a donation, know that your support is deeply appreciated. I genuinely thank each and every one of you for being a part of this amazing journey with me. Your positive energy and contributions mean everything to me. Before I go, I just want to take a moment to say that I pray that every blessing sent my way is multiplied and returned to the sender tenfold. May success find their way into your lives as you've brought them into mine. Thank you all so much for your support, and until next time, stay adventurous, stay curious, and always remember to keep the mystic in you alive. And now, that's all she got.